Okay, so when you hear the word blockchain, chances are your mind jumps straight to crypto, right? Bitcoin, finance, all that stuff. But what if its real potential has almost nothing to do with money? What if this technology could help us tackle some of the world's biggest, most stubborn challenges? Things like corruption and human rights. Today, we're going to explore how this totally new way of recording information might just help us build a more transparent and, well, a better world.
So let's start with a number that's, honestly, it's hard to even wrap your head around, 1.5 billion. That's how many people on this planet don't have a legal, verifiable identity. And without that, you're basically a ghost. You can't open a bank account, you can't own property, you can't access healthcare, you can't get aid. You are just cut off, completely vulnerable.
And here's another wild number for you, 30%. The UN estimates that's how much global development aid gets lost to corruption and just inefficiency. It just vanishes before it ever gets to the people it was meant to help. We're talking billions of dollars disappearing into these murky, broken systems. So this brings us to the fundamental question, right? When the very systems that are supposed to protect and help people are failing, how on earth do you build trust? When records can be changed, when money can be stolen, and when you can't even prove who you are, you need a completely new way of doing things.
And this is where blockchain enters the picture. Now forget all the hype and the jargon for just a second. Think of it in its simplest form. It's a new, unbelievably secure way to store and check information. People call it a trust machine for a reason. It lets people and groups work together with total confidence, even if they've never met.
So, what is it really? Okay, imagine a shared digital notebook, a ledger. But here's the magic trick. It's not kept in one place. Nope, it's copied and spread out across a massive network of computers. And when you add a new piece of info, they call that a block, it gets sealed with crazy strong code and chained to the one before it. It creates a permanent, unchangeable record that no single person can mess with.
Let's walk through how that actually works. So, say someone wants to make a transaction, like sending aid money. That request gets blasted out to the whole network. All these different computers then work together to make sure it's legit. Once they give it the thumbs up, it gets bundled into a new block, sealed, and added to the chain forever. It's done. Secure, transparent, and everyone can see it happen.
And this whole setup gives us some pretty incredible benefits. Immutability just means no one can sneak in and change the past. It's super secure thanks to all that cryptography. It's transparent, so everyone involved sees the same thing. And it's resilient, because the information is everywhere. You can't just shut down one server to kill it. You basically end up with a system where trust is baked right into the code itself.
Okay, so that's the theory. Sounds cool, right? But how does it actually help with those huge problems we started with? Let's get into some real-world examples and see this stuff in action.
So remember that aid problem? The old way of doing things, with paper vouchers or cash. It's messy, it can be inefficient, stuff gets stolen, and frankly, it can be pretty dehumanizing for people who have to wait in line for hours just to get help.
Now check out this solution. It's incredible. The World Food Program set up a system for Syrian refugees in Jordan. Over 10,000 of them can now walk into a store and buy groceries just by scanning their eye. That scan confirms their identity on a secure blockchain, and the payment happens instantly. No fraud, way less overhead, and it gives people back a little bit of choice and dignity. It's powerful stuff.
All right, let's look at another tangled mess, global supply chains. How do you really know that the fish you're eating was caught legally, or that the stuff in your phone was sourced ethically? Our current systems are so complicated, it's pretty much impossible to trace anything back to its origin.
So to fix this, a company called Provenance used blockchain to track tuna caught in Indonesia. Every single step, from the moment the fish is caught to the processing plant all the way to the supermarket, was logged on this unchangeable ledger. Suddenly, you have this transparent, verifiable journey that lets you, the customer, prove the product is what it says it is. A real game changer for fighting things like illegal fishing.
And here's one last number that has a massive impact on the world's poorest families, 7.57%. That's the average fee it costs to send money home to your family from another country. These payments, called remittances, are a $429 billion lifeline. That's way bigger than all official foreign aid combined. But the old-school financial system takes a huge cut, skimming over $30 billion in fees. Blockchain projects are changing that by cutting out the middlemen, dropping those fees to just 1 or 2%. Think about it. That's billions more dollars going straight into the pockets of the families who need it most. Okay, so the potential here is obviously huge. But we've got to take a step back and have a little reality check.
This technology is not a magic wand that's going to fix all the world's problems. There's incredible promise, for sure, but there are also some serious hurdles to get over. I absolutely love this quote from the UNDP report because it just cuts through all the hype. Blockchains are not magic beans. You can't just sprinkle them on a problem and expect it to be solved. Putting this stuff into practice, especially with vulnerable people, is really, really complex.
So yeah, it's a balancing act. On one side, you've got this incredible promise: transparency, efficiency, empowerment. But on the other side, you have these very real hurdles: a lack of internet in a lot of places, tricky legal questions, making sure the data you put on the chain is actually accurate, and just teaching people how to use this new thing.
Let's break those down. I mean, how do you use a digital ledger where there's no reliable internet? How do you deal with all the different laws in different countries? And this one's huge. How do you make sure the info being recorded is correct to begin with? You know that old saying, garbage in, garbage out? Blockchain can't fix bad data. And maybe the biggest risk, we have to be so careful that these new systems don't just end up cementing the same old power structures we're trying to fix.
But even with all those challenges, the vision of a decentralized future it's too powerful to ignore. The goal isn't just about rolling out some new tech. It's about using it as a tool to hit these massive global goals and build a genuinely better world. And that's really the journey, isn't it? It starts with the individual, with their daily struggles. But the goal is to build these interconnected, resilient systems, a whole new foundation for society that can support everyone in a much more fair and equitable way.
And look, this isn't just some niche tech fantasy. The United Nations itself sees blockchain as a potential key to speed up progress on its sustainable development goals. You know, those 17 huge targets for 2030, aimed at tackling everything from ending poverty to fighting for peace and justice.
And at its heart, it really all comes down to this one powerful idea from the UNDP. They believe blockchain can be the actual infrastructure, the tool for accountability, a way to make sure that governments, companies, and aid organizations are all transparent and answerable for what they do. So, in the end, what we have is a new technology that gives us a foundation for trust, one that doesn't need a big bank or a government in the middle. It's a new set of tools. The real question isn't about the tech itself anymore. It's about us. How are we going to choose to build on it?